Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing Pro-Ject's brand new Debut EVO 2. Now the Debut turntable has been iconic. In fact, the EVO was mentioned as one of my 25-year celebrations. There's the video. It's an iconic piece of the Pro-Ject range. It has cemented itself every single time, every single iteration as the best value available anywhere near its price point. The Debut was replaced with the 2, the 3, the Carbon, which had a couple of options with cartridges, and they even did one with a USB on board, all sorts of stuff. The EVO answered a significant number of the both performance and convenience questions, introducing isolation feet, a dampened platter, speed box on board with switchable power, and a few other minor improvements. The EVO 2 is a big leap again. Trickling down from the Debut Pro and some implementations from their classic turntables and other very, very high-end pieces, you will see a number of excellent improvements. It's been reflected a little bit in the price, but not so much. The retail's adjusted a little bit in New Zealand, but it reflects probably a significant transformation in quality, so it easily underwrites the value change in its retail. Anyway, let's have a look. Firstly, the packaging. I won't bore you too much, but the Debut EVO sits about here from a packaging size perspective. The EVO 2, the box itself, is much larger. You'll see why in a moment. Like all of the Pro-Ject boxes, they're a white cardboard box. On both ends you've got a delineation associated with model, serial number and approximate weight. You'll see the fact, okay, this one comes with the Pickett MM EVO, so the Pickett Pro's replacement essentially. The colour option today is going to be their blue, their satin blue, and of course the Debut EVO 2. There's both scannable and printed information associated with the model and the serial numbers. Okay. Now, opening these is very, very straightforward. They are a paper tape. It's a white tape. Matches obviously the box. Opening it is pretty straightforward, but as always you should be careful. Whenever you're running a knife across the top of a box, you should endeavour to lift the cardboard up so that the potential to damage something inside that box is vastly reduced. Nevertheless, they've thought about that, and at the top of the box they've actually got an extra piece of cardboard to ensure if you have got a little bit deep with the craft knife, it's not going to damage anything. The first thing we see in the packaging is a full colour setup brochure. In fact, let's have a look at that one. It's an A4 folded page, sealed in a bag. It has basic warranty and contact information for all of the international distributors for Pro-Ject, and a lovely pictorial there of somebody playing the turntable, as well as an unpack and setup guide. Drilling in again, you'll see a couple of things. The first is the Perspex lid. That's protected by one of these synthetic cloth bags. It's designed to keep it scratch free, and it's a sort of a polish bag really. The lid itself of course comes with all of the turntables nowadays. Pro-Ject logo front and centre, and it's moulded for the hinges. Then as I tilt it forward, I'm going to show you one of the significant departures from the EVO and previous models into the new EVO 2. They've opted to have a 100% recyclable and 100% recycled cardboard packaging. So they're thinking about the environmental consequences of the polystyrene that was previously used, and looking for something that's a lot more sustainable from an environment perspective. First thing we see is the connect cables. Now these are screened, twisted pair with an earth, and the little yellow tags, please look, as always, hang around for the close-up photographs. Nevertheless, the yellow tags show the direction as far as it going into an amplifier. Okay. Then we see a separate box for the New Zealand power supply. As with previous models, it's 15 volt DC, and there's three different adapters as far as the power. Then we've got some of the more accessories, which is the tonearm counterweight, the drive belt, a single adapter, and the anti-skate weight. So it's good. Previously that was in a little plastic bag with all sorts of accessories in it along with the manual, but they've obviously put it in a box for that reason. Now what we're going to do after this video is do a setup video. So if you're interested in the process of completely assembling the product and then setting up the tonearm for its tracking forces and things, hang around. Look, it'll be out in a couple of days after this one. Nevertheless, we've got a little bit of closed cell foam just sort of protecting all of the accessories. There's the belt, there's the anti-skate weight. We've got a 45 adapter along with an Allen key. We've got the counterweight. Now that's worth taking out of the bag because the counterweight now has some of the evolution upgrades that have been coming down from more expensive turntables, and they've introduced a sorbethane ring for a vibration dampening. For obvious reasons, any potential vibration in the arm could potentially end up in the stylus and the cartridge, so these simple little improvements, it's great to see that they're trickling it down to such a cost-effective turntable. And lastly, we've got an cartridge alignment card. It's just a piece of stiff paper, and it shows the optimal points for setup for aligning of other cartridges. Okay, again tilting it forward so we can see. Now lifting the cardboard off, it's completely moulded for the turntable. There's even an arrow showing which way it needs to go, orientated to things, but it's quite obvious as far as the arm. And again, fully recyclable. We'll lift the turntable out and put it off to one side for a moment to reveal the other half of that moulded cardboard packaging. Lifting that packaging out, and again it's completely moulded, but this time the circle is there ready for the platter. Taking that platter out, there we have it, off it goes. Now the platter itself has been improved as well. I hinted on that. Classic felt mat is included as always, but previously the steel platter, so the Debut and Debut carbon turntables had a pressed steel platter. It left it with the potential for resonance, and so with the EVO they introduced a rubber ring on the inside as a dampening for that resonance and vastly improved its performance. It was really quite noticeable, and for a lot of people who had just the Debut it was a really cost-effective upgrade to just change that platter. Nevertheless, they've done a twofold improvement with this. They've introduced a double approach, so this is what we saw in maybe the the classic turntable from Pro-Ject, which is where the dampening ring sits inside two rings associated with the platter. It adds a significant amount of mass, but also the ring ensures that there's no vibration. Secondly, this is now made of aluminium. It's almost inert from a ring and dampening perspective and shows none of the resonance associated with any of the things that would ever affect the performance of the turntable. So it's wonderful, truly wonderful that they've added that for such a cost-effective deck. Right, now looking at the turntable itself. Again, it's enclosed with a polish cloth bag. And taking that bag off, you should just be a little bit aware of it and a little bit careful. But again, it's designed to keep everything in absolutely perfect condition in freight. We look at it, it's a little bit stripped down, of course, because there's some assembly required. But while we're looking at it, you'll see a couple of things. Firstly, and I'm going to take that off for a second. You see the elaborate additional CNC lathing that they've done with this to ensure that the motor and the motor and central bearing sit at very, very different locations from a height perspective in the platter. You'll see more work that they're doing when it comes to the fixtures and fittings on it as well in a moment. Nevertheless, that central pulley wheel is essentially the same as in the traditional EVO. It's a lightweight pulley wheel. What you may have noticed though is a change in the motor pulley. Now the motor itself is again lowered inside the plinth, but you'll now see that it's a single size. The previous EVO allowed, with the switch control for speed, allowed the ability to change the belt and run the odd 75. Nevertheless, this is geared up solely for 33 and 45s, and the switch allows for those two speeds only. There is no option with this model to play the 78s. Sorry, not 75s, 78s. There we go. Nevertheless, we also see the carbon fibre arm that we're used to. I'll put the counterweight on briefly, just so you kind of starts to look a little bit more like a turntable. You'll see as I just take this piece of sticky tape off that the cartridge has improved from the 2M Red from Autofon into a collaborative engineering and manufacturing between Pro-Ject and Autofon for the new Picket. So this is the Picket, an MM Picket, replacing the Picket Pro. It's a stunning cartridge, and again, as always, hang around for the close-ups. Nevertheless, the other big improvement is relating to the bearing associated with the sweep of the arm. Now this engineering was first introduced with the Debut Pro, and it's wonderful to see it trickle down into the Debut. It's the designing and engineering is very, very specific, and it ensures that the arm rides lightly along any wobble of the record and tracks brilliantly into the centre. As before, there is an anti-skate weight that hangs using gravity, and the contact points have evolved with the model as well. The traditional brackets for the hinges remain identical. If we tilt it up for a moment, we see again the feet that were introduced with the EVO. They use a sorbothane and a soft pad as well, and the speed control for the 33 and 45. In the neutral position or central position, it's off, 33 one way and 45 the next. Looking at the back, we see again a small evolution between this model and the previous EVO. The EVO 2 now has the connections buried within the plinth of the turntable. That's not just aesthetic, but if you think about these extra boxes that could potentially physically resonate, introducing them in, burying them inside the plinth is a far better idea, both from a connection perspective, as it's so easy to connect and disconnect, but also from reduction, if not elimination, of potential vibration. We also see the power socket for the 15 volt input also nestled in the back. Now, assembling this is very, very straightforward. What I'm going to do is do it cosmetically so it starts to look like a turntable, but not finalise the setup. We're not going to attach the belt, but I will attach the lid so that it starts to look and feel like the turntable would in your home. The hinges have always been robust. And of course, if you have to, you can just take the lid off. In fact, if you don't need the lid, you can take the lid and the hinging off if required as well. So, there we have it. Pro-Ject's brand new Debut EVO 2 turntable, proudly unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.